San Thomas Aquinas 1225-1274 AD. Thomas Aquinas. Thomas Aquinas was the greatest of the scholastic philosophers. He produced a comprehensive synthesis of Christian theology and Aristotelian philosophy that influenced Roman Catholic doctrine for centuries and was adopted as the official philosophy of the Church in 1917. What is the contribution of Thomas Aquinas to the field of ethics? Aquinas believes that we should always follow our consciences even if even if it is wrong or causes great harm. Since we have no way of knowing whether our consciences are wrong, they are the best guide we have as to what is the moral thing to do. What was St. Thomas Aquinas' theory? The master principle of natural law, wrote Aquinas, was that good is to be done and pursued and evil avoided. Aquinas stated that reason reveals particular natural laws that are good for humans, such as self-preservation, marriage, and family, and the desire to know God. What were Thomas Aquinas' main ideas? Aquinas proposed that faith and reason and sciences and theology need to be opposed to each other, could coexist. The main pursuit of his philosophy was the balance of logic and natural sciences with the philosophical concerns of Christian doctrine. What does the life of St. Thomas Aquinas teach us? So, faith and reasons are not mutually exclusive. The more you study, the more this becomes evident. It's been posited that Thomas Aquinas is the patron saint of evolutionary psychology, and with good reason. He believed firmly that both faith and reason ultimately come from God and that the two work in collaboration. What did Thomas Aquinas believe was the purpose of human life? According to Saint Thomas Aquinas, life is a gift from God to be loved, nurtured, and live in proper charity. The human being, as a respectful steward of this gift, does not possess absolute domination over it. Also, Thomas Aquinas' Christian Aristotelianism, um, the dominant thinker of the Middle Ages, combined the science and philosophy of Aristotle with the revealed truth of Christianity, holding that Aristotelianism is true but is not the whole truth. He reconciled the philosophy of Aristotle with the truth of Christian revelation. The 13th century rediscovery and revival of the corpus of Aristotle's teaching and Aquinas' synthesis of it with the tenets of Christian faith effected a dramatic change in medieval political thought. Through his writings, Aquinas provided a solid bridge from the ancients. Aquinas was a committed disciple of Aristotle but was an even more sincere disciple of the Church. He reconceived Aristotle's ideas to a new context, was able to make distinctions that Aristotle did not formulate, and never hesitated to go beyond Aristotle. This is some summarization of life of Saint Thomas Aquinas.
You may know St. Thomas Aquinas, but what was he like? What was in him that many universities decided to carry the name of the popular saint? St. Thomas Aquinas was born between 1224 to 1225 in Roccasecca, Italy. Even before being born, a holy hermit named Bonus has already predicted that he will become great one day. He came from a wealthy Italian ruling family. His father, Landolf, is the Count of Aquino, and his mother, Theodora, is the Countess of Teano. He has 8 siblings and he's the youngest among them, but had 3 step-brothers by the first marriage of his father. He received his primary education from the Benedictines of the Benedictine Abbey of Monte Cassino, and was expected to be a Benedictine abbot one day. But when he attended the University of Naples, he had a change of heart and decided to enter the Dominican order, much to the chagrin of his family. To discourage Thomas to pursue his plans to be a Dominican, his brothers seized him and put him under house arrest. They even hired a woman of ill repute to seduce him, but their efforts were futile. After almost a year, he was given the freedom to pursue his studies and to become a Dominican friar. Thomas was under the tutelage of Saint Albert the Great. In class, he was often silent during discussions, and his bulky figure became the joke of his classmates and called him the dumb ox. But Saint Albert came to his defense and said, "You call him the dumb ox, but in his teaching he will one day produce such a bellowing in doctrine that it will be heard throughout the world." True enough, Thomas emerged as an exemplary scholar. His great devotion to God made him travel, write, teach, and preach on different places as a doctor in sacred theology and as a preacher general. As a great philosopher and theologian, he wrote several books, including Summa Theologica, his greatest work. Summa Theologica is a 4-volume book divided into 4 parts, which serves as a manual for beginners about the main theological teachings during their time. Because of his works, he rose to public acclaim and gained followers among the Dominicans. In one of his many mystical visions, a sacristan heard a crucifix spoke to him this way, "Thou hast written well of me, Thomas. What reward wilt thou have?" To which St. Thomas Aquinas replied, "None other than thyself, Lord." What may be regarded as the last of his mystical experiences that proved to be faithful occurred on December 6, 1273, in which it took him longer to finish a public mass. He told later his pastoral secretary, "Whatever I have written are like straws ready to be burnt, compared to what was revealed to me." Sensing that he was about to die, he consented to go with a group of Cistercians back to their monastery in Fossa Nova, where he died eventually. Where he surrendered his life, saying, "This is my rest forever and ever. Here will I dwell, for I have chosen it." St. Thomas may have lived a peaceful life, but he also has his shares of ups and downs. Despite of what he has gone through, his great love and devotion for God stood firm. That is why he was able to write so well about God, which became an instrument to illuminate the minds of people and fire their hearts with virtues. As his teachings reached places, he remained humble because he knew that his gifts came from God and not on his own skills. And that is why his works are still relevant and significant up to this day. As the patron saint of students, let us seek St. Thomas Aquinas' guidance and be inspired to live a life of faithfulness and love to God.
So that's all, sir. Thank you.